Have you ever wondered why some people seem to attract wealth effortlessly, while others struggle their whole lives, even when they work just as hard? What if the difference isn't in what they do, but in what they think? Welcome to Secrets of the Millionaire Mind by Harv Eker, a powerful journey into your financial blueprint and how it's silently shaping your success or your struggles. In the chapters ahead, you'll uncover 17 powerful wealth files, mindset shifts that separate the rich from the rest. And no, this isn't just theory. These secrets come from real-world experience and transformation. This isn't just another money book. It's a mind reset, a wake-up call. And once you hear these truths, you can't unhear them. So, if you're ready to change your thinking and change your life, stay with us till the very last word, because your millionaire mind is waiting. Let's begin. Chapter 1. Your Money Blueprint. Everything you hear about money when you were a child becomes part of how you think later in life. You don't even realize it, but the words you heard from your parents, teachers, and other people around you go deep into your mind. These words create beliefs. These beliefs turn into thoughts, and your thoughts shape your actions. Over time, your actions bring you the results you see in your life. This is called your money blueprint. This blueprint is like a map in your subconscious mind. It tells you where to go and what to do with money. It controls how much money you feel comfortable with. If the blueprint is set for a low level of success, no matter what you do, your mind will always pull you back to that level. You might try to grow rich, but if your blueprint isn't ready for wealth, you will end up losing the money or not earning more at all. The problem is not outside you. The real problem is within you, your money blueprint. Many people think they need new jobs, new strategies, or better financial plans to earn more. But all these things are just tools. If you're not ready to handle money in your mind, no tool will work for you. It's like a thermostat in your house. If the thermostat is set to 70 degrees, the room will always come back to that temperature, no matter how hot or cold it gets. In the same way, your money blueprint always brings you back to your financial comfort zone. If it's set low, even if you get lucky or have a good opportunity, you'll somehow go back to your usual income or savings. This blueprint is built in three main ways. First, it is formed through the things you hear when you were young. If your parents always said things like, money doesn't grow on trees, or rich people are greedy, then these words likely became part of how you see money today. You might feel guilty when you earn a lot, or you might think having too much money is bad. Second, you learn through what you see. If you watch your parents argue about money, or if you saw them stress over bills, your mind learned that money is a cause of pain. So now, you may avoid dealing with money because your brain connects it to stress and conflict. Third, your blueprint is shaped by what happens to you, your personal experiences. For example, if you were once embarrassed because you couldn't afford something at school, that feeling may have stayed with you. It may cause you now to avoid spending money, or may push you to spend too much just to prove something to yourself or others. Even if two people live in the same house, they may end up with very different money blueprints. One child may copy a parent's behavior, while another might go the opposite way. If a father is lazy and poor, one son might also become lazy and poor. But another son may work extremely hard and become rich just to never be like his father. Both of them were shaped by the same parent, but they chose different paths based on what they decided that experience meant. To change your money life, you must first understand what your money blueprint is. You have to become aware of the old beliefs that control you. Ask yourself, what did I hear about money when I was young? What did I see? What did I experience? Once you know your blueprint, you can start to question if those beliefs are true or helpful. Then, you can reprogram your mind. You do this by choosing new beliefs. Instead of saying, money is hard to get, you say, money comes to me easily and often. Instead of believing, I don't deserve to be rich, you can say, I have every right to be wealthy. When you repeat these new ideas every day, your mind begins to believe them. Your blueprint starts to change. And when your inner blueprint changes, your results start to change too. You begin to notice new opportunities. You start to make different decisions. Your confidence grows. And slowly, your financial life improves, not just on the outside, but from deep within you. The key is to work on your inner world, and the outer world will follow. Chapter 2. The roots create the fruits. Your outer world is a reflection of your inner world. If you want to change the visible, you must first change the invisible. This idea forms the basis of everything that follows. The thoughts in your mind, the beliefs you hold, and the habits you practice all come together to shape your financial life. Many people try to fix things on the outside without addressing what's happening on the inside. They change jobs, move to new places, or start new businesses hoping for better results. But if the inner programming stays the same, the results eventually go back to what they were. The root causes lie deep within the mind, and that's where the real work begins. Every tree has roots, and those roots determine the quality of the fruits it produces. If the roots are healthy, the tree grows strong and full. If the roots are weak or poisoned, the fruits will be small or rotten. It's no different with money. The fruits are the results in your life: your income, your savings, your debts, your investments. The roots are your thoughts and beliefs about money. Trying to fix your results without first examining your thoughts is like trying to change the fruit by painting it a different color. The only way to grow better fruits is to nourish the roots. In most cases, financial struggles don't come from the outside world. They come from beliefs that were learned long ago, usually during childhood. If someone was taught that money is scarce, they might grow up always feeling like there's never enough. If they saw parents fighting about money, they might associate wealth with pain and avoid it without even realizing. These patterns are not just ideas, they're like programs running in the background of the mind. Until those programs are changed, the same patterns will repeat. Thoughts lead to feelings. Feelings lead to actions. Actions lead to results. This is a simple but powerful chain. If someone believes they're not good with money, they might feel discouraged whenever they deal with finances. That feeling causes them to avoid learning about money or making smart decisions. As a result, their financial situation remains poor. But if a person believes they are responsible and capable, they feel more confident. They take action, seek knowledge, and manage their money wisely. That's when positive results start to show up. To truly change your financial life, you must go back to the thoughts that lead to those results. This isn't about quick fixes. It's about creating lasting change by adjusting the way you think. It requires awareness, commitment, and consistency. Start by becoming aware of your current beliefs. Ask yourself, what did I hear about money as a child? What did I see in my home? What emotional experiences did I have related to wealth or poverty? The answers to these questions reveal the root of your money habits. Once you understand your beliefs, it's time to challenge them. Just because you believed something when you were 5 doesn't mean it's true today. Many of those ideas came from people who were struggling themselves. If you're told that rich people are greedy or that having a lot of money makes you a bad person, those ideas might still be affecting you now. But they can be changed. You can choose new thoughts that support your goals. You can install a new financial program in your mind, one that is built on possibility, confidence, and responsibility. This process is not always easy, but it is simple. Start by listening to your thoughts. Notice what comes up when you think about money. Replace negative statements with positive ones. Use declarations, strong, clear statements spoken out loud, to affirm your new beliefs. Speak them with power. Say them every day. Over time, your mind begins to accept the new pattern. Your feelings become more supportive. Your actions become stronger, and your results begin to shift. It's important to realize that this is not just about getting rich. It's about becoming the kind of person who naturally attracts and manages wealth. The change happens from the inside out. Money doesn't solve problems that are rooted in fear or lack. But when your inner world is aligned with confidence, purpose, and generosity, your outer world reflects that. You become someone who not only earns more, but also handles money wisely, uses it to make a difference, and feels at peace. So if the fruits in your life aren't what you want them to be, don't try to fix the fruits. Don't get frustrated or blame others. Go back to the roots. Strengthen them. Feed them new thoughts. Clear out the weeds of doubt and fear. And then, with patience and practice, watch your tree grow strong, healthy, and full of the fruits you've always wanted. Let's begin with wealth file number 1. You have a financial blueprint in your mind. This blueprint, whether you're aware of it or not, influences how you deal with money throughout your life. It's formed early on, shaped by things you've heard, things you've seen, and things you've experienced. From the moment you were a child, you began to pick up messages about money. Messages from your family, friends, society, and even the media. These messages left a deep imprint on your mind, creating a specific way you think about wealth. For example, if you grew up hearing phrases like, money doesn't grow on trees, or we can't afford that, you might start to see money as something scarce, something difficult to get. On the other hand, if you heard things like, money is the key to freedom, or wealth is good and helpful, you might have grown up thinking that money is abundant and accessible. Either way, your money blueprint determines how you approach wealth, how you handle opportunities, and even how you react to the idea of earning more money. This blueprint isn't something you were born with. It's something you develop from your environment. As a child, you observe how your parents, teachers, or role models treated money. If your parents struggled with money or seemed stressed about financial problems, you might have learned to see money as a source of anxiety. Conversely, if you saw people around you thriving financially, you likely developed a more positive view of money. The key to understanding your own financial blueprint is to realize that these beliefs shape your actions. If you're not aware of them, they can control you without you even knowing it. For instance, you might feel uneasy about spending money, even when you can afford something, simply because of how you grew up thinking about money. Or you might have the opposite reaction, spending recklessly, not caring about the future because you don't truly believe money can last. What's even more surprising is that these financial beliefs often remain hidden in your subconscious. You might think that you're making decisions based on logic, but your past experiences and beliefs about money are driving you to make certain choices. If your blueprint says that money is hard to come by, you might avoid opportunities that could make you more money, even if they're right in front of you. Or you might hold back from asking for a raise at work because deep down, you don't believe you deserve it. But here's the exciting part. Once you realize that your financial blueprint is the real reason behind your current situation, you can change it. The first step is to identify the beliefs you hold about money. What were you taught as a child? How did the people around you treat money? What stories did you hear about wealth and poverty? Once you understand where your blueprint came from, you can begin to shift it. Changing your financial blueprint doesn't happen overnight. It takes time and consistent effort, but it starts with a choice to challenge the old beliefs and replace them with new ones. If you believe that money is hard to get, start changing that thought to money comes easily to me. If you think that wealth is only for certain people, challenge that thought by reminding yourself that anyone can build wealth. Begin to repeat these new beliefs daily. Over time, they will become a part of your new financial blueprint. This change is not just about thinking positive thoughts. It's about actively changing your behavior based on new beliefs. If you believe that you can easily create wealth, you'll start to look for opportunities that align with that belief. You'll ask for that raise, you'll invest in your future, and you'll act in ways that show you truly believe that wealth is within your reach. It's important to remember that your past doesn't determine your future. Your blueprint, as it stands right now, may be limiting your potential, but it doesn't have to stay that way. You have the power to create a new financial blueprint. You don't have to let old beliefs hold you back from achieving the success you desire. Changing your financial blueprint is a process of reprogramming your mind to see wealth as something that's not only possible, but also accessible and achievable for you. The key lesson here is simple. Your financial future is shaped by what you believe. By changing your beliefs about money, you change your actions, and ultimately, you change your results. It's not about the circumstances you're in right now, but about how you choose to think about them and respond to them. The way you think about money is the key to unlocking your potential and creating the life of financial freedom that you deserve. Wealth file number 2. In a world of money, there are two types of people: those who play the game to win and those who play not to lose. The difference between these two groups is not just in what they do, but in how they approach life and wealth. When someone plays to win, they aim high, taking bold actions and setting ambitious goals. These individuals understand that success is not a matter of simply avoiding failure, but of taking calculated risks and striving for extraordinary outcomes. They see opportunities everywhere and are not afraid to chase after them, even when the path is unclear or the odds seem daunting. For them, the journey is just as important as the destination. They're focused on growth, expansion, and achieving greatness. On the other hand, those who play not to lose operate from a place of fear. They focus on minimizing risk and avoiding mistakes. Their mindset is more about self-protection than progress. They may be reluctant to take risks or step outside their comfort zones because they fear failure or loss. Their goals are smaller, and they might be content with maintaining the status quo or achieving just enough to get by. They often settle for mediocrity, believing that avoiding loss is the ultimate goal. This difference in mindset shapes everything, from how people view money to how they approach opportunities. People who play to win see money as a tool for achieving bigger things. They are willing to invest, take risks, and work hard to create wealth. They understand that money can provide freedom, security, and the ability to make a significant impact. To them, Money is a resource to be used wisely and purposefully. In contrast, those who play not to lose see money as something to be protected, often hoarding it out of fear. They may work hard, but their efforts are driven more by the desire to keep what they have rather than grow it. They often avoid investments or ventures that seem risky, even if those ventures have the potential to bring great rewards. They may be content with a stable job and a predictable income, but they rarely think beyond their immediate needs. They believe that financial security comes from avoiding loss, rather than from seeking opportunities. The key difference between these two groups is not just how they handle money, but how they view the world. People who play to win have a mindset that embraces possibilities and embraces change. They are willing to put themselves in situations where they might fail because they understand that failure is a stepping stone to success. For them, every setback is a lesson, and every challenge is an opportunity for growth. They're focused on the big picture and are determined to create the life they want, no matter the obstacles. Those who play not to lose, on the other hand, tend to be more focused on the short term. They may be satisfied with small wins, but they rarely push themselves to achieve anything extraordinary. They may avoid risks because they fear losing what they have, and in doing so, they limit their potential for greater success. They may have a comfortable life, but it's often a life of quiet desperation, where they wonder what could have been if they had taken more chances or dreamed bigger. The lesson here is simple. To create wealth, you must play to win. It's not enough to merely avoid losing. You must set ambitious goals, take risks, and pursue opportunities with passion and determination. Playing to win requires a mindset of abundance, not scarcity. It means seeing opportunities rather than obstacles, and believing that you can create your future rather than being a victim of circumstances. To embrace this mindset, you must begin by changing your relationship with risk. Understand that taking calculated risks is a natural part of achieving success. You don't have to gamble everything, but you must be willing to step outside your comfort zone. Every successful person has taken risks, some small, some large, but all of them have understood that to create something big, they must be willing to take the leap. Ultimately, playing to win means living with intention, not fear. It means embracing challenges, taking action, and staying committed to your vision. It's about focusing on growth and opportunity, rather than playing it safe and avoiding failure. If you want to create wealth, you must adopt the mindset of someone who plays to win. Take the risks, dream big, and most importantly, keep moving forward even when things get tough. Wealth file number 3. The story begins with an important concept: how people approach wealth. Some people just wish they could be wealthy, while others make it their absolute commitment to become rich. There's a significant difference between the two mindsets. Those who merely wish for wealth often don't take consistent or meaningful steps toward achieving it. Their desires remain a wish, an idea that's nice to have but isn't backed up by action. On the other hand, those who are committed to becoming wealthy take their desires seriously. They believe in their ability to make their financial dreams come true and are willing to make sacrifices, learn new skills, and keep pushing forward even when things get tough. Commitment isn't just about saying, "I want to be rich." It's about saying, "I will do whatever it takes to become wealthy." It means being ready to make the necessary changes, take the risks, and learn new things. A person who is truly committed understands that being rich isn't just about having money. It's about creating a whole new lifestyle and set of habits. Those who wish for wealth may wait for the right opportunity to come along or hope that luck will bring them success. But people who are committed to wealth see opportunities where others see obstacles. They focus on taking action and making progress, no matter the circumstances. In the story, the difference between wanting and committing is clear. A person who simply wishes to be wealthy often stops at the first sign of failure. They may try something for a short time, and if they don't see results immediately, they give up. They might think, "Well, I tried, but it didn't work," and go back to their regular routine. However, a committed person sees failure as a step on the path to success. When something doesn't work, they don't quit. They adjust, learn, and try again. They understand that setbacks are part of the journey to achieving wealth and success. This commitment doesn't just show up in big moments. It's visible in the daily choices a person makes. The committed person continues to invest in their personal growth, seek out new opportunities, and take responsibility for their financial future. They create a plan and stick to it, regardless of the challenges. If an idea doesn't work, they adapt and keep moving forward, always keeping their eyes on the bigger picture of financial freedom. Their commitment drives them to take risks that others might avoid. Instead of fearing the unknown, they see risk as an opportunity to grow. A key lesson in the story is that without commitment, it's easy to get distracted by other things in life. It's easy to let daily life take over and forget about your goal of becoming wealthy. But those who are committed to their financial success don't let life's distractions steer them off course. They prioritize their goals, plan their actions, and keep their focus sharp. They make choices that align with their desire for financial freedom, even when it means saying no to things that aren't helping them achieve their goals. This commitment also means sticking to the plan, even when it feels uncomfortable. Becoming wealthy requires consistent action over time. It's not about doing something once and expecting results. It's about building habits, making smart decisions day after day, and pushing through the challenges. The committed person knows that each small step leads to bigger results, and they stay dedicated to their journey, no matter how long it takes. What truly sets the committed person apart is their unwavering belief in themselves. They don't let fear or doubt stop them. They believe that if others can become wealthy, so can they. They aren't waiting for the perfect moment or for everything to fall into place. They create the perfect moment by taking action and staying focused on their goal. They understand that success isn't an accident. It's a result of determination, focus, and hard work. In the end, the lesson is clear. Wishing for wealth will not bring it to you. Only by committing to your financial success will you see the transformation that leads to true wealth. Commitment is the foundation for everything that comes after. It's about making wealth a priority in your life, sticking with your goals through thick and thin, and doing whatever it takes to succeed. When you commit fully to becoming wealthy, nothing can stand in your way. You will find the opportunities, take the necessary actions, and create the wealth you desire. Wealth file number 4. It focuses on a fundamental principle. The way you think about growth and success plays a significant role in shaping your financial future. It teaches us a clear, simple lesson. The rich think big and the poor think small. This principle is powerful because it touches on one of the most important factors in creating wealth: your mindset. The mindset that drives you to aim high, take risks, and go beyond the comfort zone is the one that opens doors to greater opportunities. On the other hand, thinking small or limiting yourself to safe, small goals keeps you stuck in a cycle where growth is minimal. The first step is realizing that thinking big isn't about being reckless or overconfident. It's about seeing opportunities where others might see obstacles. It's about realizing that there is potential for success far beyond the day-to-day grind that most people focus on. When you think big, you're opening yourself to bigger opportunities, bigger rewards, and the chance to make a real impact in your life and in the lives of others. People who think big are not limited by their immediate circumstances or small failures. They're willing to step outside their comfort zone and face challenges head-on, with the belief that bigger things are within their reach. When you think big, you allow yourself the chance to dream beyond just the basics of survival. Instead of just aiming to cover bills or get by month to month, you start thinking about what it would take to build something lasting, something that has value, something that generates wealth over time. For example, instead of simply wanting a stable job, you might think about starting your own business or creating a new product. The key is not to settle for what's comfortable, but to stretch your vision beyond the immediate. This doesn't mean you have to abandon practical goals or responsible choices, but it does mean that you should aim for higher outcomes in all areas of life. This way of thinking changes how you approach every opportunity that comes your way. The wealthy don't wait for the perfect time to act. They take bold, strategic steps even when the situation isn't perfect. They understand that doing something, even if imperfectly, is far better than doing nothing at all. The rich understand that mistakes are part of the process. They expect to learn and improve along the way, rather than trying to avoid mistakes or play it safe. When you think big, you embrace failure as part of the journey and are not afraid of setbacks. Thinking big also influences how you handle your finances. If you limit yourself to only thinking small, you will only ever save small amounts, invest in small opportunities, and set small financial goals. But if you think big, you open yourself to opportunities that will lead to greater returns, whether that's starting a larger investment portfolio, launching a business, or taking a calculated risk that could significantly grow your wealth. The wealthy don't just save, they leverage their money to create more money. This mindset also transforms the way you interact with people. The wealthy tend to surround themselves with other big thinkers, people who share their vision, who challenge them to be better, and who encourage them to reach new heights. When you think big, you naturally start to associate with those who are also aiming for bigger goals, creating a network that supports and pushes you forward. In contrast, small thinkers often surround themselves with others who have limited perspectives, which can reinforce their own limiting beliefs. The power of association with others who think big cannot be underestimated. It becomes a catalyst for your own growth. Thinking big isn't about having a grand plan that you never act on. It's about having a mindset that drives you to constantly look for new ways to grow and improve. The key is in setting goals that stretch you and challenge you to think beyond what is familiar. Whether it's building a business, creating passive income, or expanding your investment portfolio, thinking big opens the door to opportunities that might otherwise seem impossible. In the end, thinking big leads to bigger results. The more you stretch your thinking, the more you are able to take the steps necessary to create wealth and success. Small thinking keeps you confined within the boundaries of what you know, while big thinking leads to endless possibilities. The difference between those who stay stuck and those who move forward lies in their willingness to think bigger, aim higher, and embrace the challenges that come with reaching for bigger goals. Wealth file number 5. In the journey toward financial success, one of the most crucial lessons is how we respond to opportunities. There's a clear distinction in how wealthy people see the world compared to those who struggle financially. For the wealthy, the world is full of opportunities waiting to be seized. They train their minds to focus on the possibilities and look for ways to take advantage of what comes their way. In contrast, those who are less successful often focus on the obstacles that stand in their path. They see the barriers, the difficulties, and the challenges rather than the opportunities that could turn their lives around. When it comes to wealth, this mindset shift is incredibly powerful. Wealthy individuals understand that every situation has the potential to bring success, as long as they choose to see it that way. They train themselves to ask, how can I make this work, rather than, what's in the way? This mindset isn't just about seeing things through rose-colored glasses. It's about making a conscious decision to focus on solutions instead of problems. Every time a new challenge arises, instead of retreating into fear or frustration, wealthy people ask themselves how they can turn it into an advantage. They understand that challenges are simply opportunities in disguise, offering lessons that can lead to growth and profit. This attitude isn't reserved for just big business decisions either. It applies to everyday choices. For example, if a wealthy person faces a problem in their business, instead of getting discouraged, they look for ways to turn it into an advantage. Maybe a competitor's setback is an opportunity to offer something better, or maybe a temporary setback in a project can be used as a chance to innovate. The key is to stay focused on opportunities, not on what might go wrong. It's important to note that this way of thinking doesn't mean ignoring risks or challenges. Wealthy individuals are aware of the obstacles, but they don't let them dictate their actions. Instead, they ask how they can work around those challenges and still make progress. They understand that obstacles are a natural part of the journey, but they don't let them stop them. They keep moving forward, knowing that every problem has a solution, even if it's not immediately obvious. Another key to this mindset is learning to embrace failure as a stepping stone. Those who are less successful often avoid taking risks because they fear failure. But the wealthy understand that failure is not the opposite of success. It is part of the road to success. When they fail, they don't see it as a reason to quit. They see it as a lesson to learn from. Each failure is an opportunity to refine their approach, improve their strategies, and become better at what they do. They treat failure not as something to be feared, but as a necessary part of growth. The lesson here is about focus. It's about choosing where to put your attention. Instead of focusing on the difficulties and limitations that come your way, wealthy people choose to focus on the potential and the opportunities. They train their minds to seek out the good in every situation, and they approach challenges with a mindset that says, I can make this work. This ability to focus on opportunities instead of obstacles is one of the key differences between those who create wealth and those who struggle to make ends meet. It's not about being unrealistic or blind to the difficulties ahead. Rather, it's about making the decision to focus on what can be done rather than what can't. Wealthy people know that life isn't always easy, but they also know that the path to success is full of opportunities, as long as they're looking for them. The more you train your mind to seek opportunities, the more you'll start to see them. When your focus shifts from obstacles to opportunities, the world around you begins to change. What once seemed impossible or overwhelming starts to feel within reach, and you begin to see solutions instead of problems. This shift in focus can open doors to success that you may have never even noticed before. Wealth file number 6. When it comes to wealth and success, the way we view others who have achieved it plays a crucial role in shaping our own financial future. Many people, especially those who are struggling financially, hold negative beliefs about rich and successful individuals. They might feel resentment or even jealousy toward those who have what they want. They might think that these individuals are lucky, dishonest, or that they've gained their wealth at the expense of others. These negative feelings create a divide between them and the possibility of becoming wealthy themselves. But to shift from a mindset of scarcity to one of abundance, it is vital to change this perspective. People who achieve success and wealth tend to admire and learn from others who are already successful. They don't see the wealthy as enemies or as figures to resent. They view them as role models, as examples of what is possible. When they see someone successful, they don't allow envy or bitterness to take over. Instead, they look at those individuals and think, what can I learn from them? How do they get to where they are? What habits or actions can I adopt from them? It's not about trying to be like someone else or copying their life exactly. Rather, it's about seeing the qualities and behaviors that made them successful and applying those to your own life. The key is to see success as something that can be earned, learned, and achieved. When you admire and appreciate successful people, you also open the door for yourself to achieve similar results. Wealth is not reserved for a select few, nor is it something that others possess and keep from you. It's a mindset that can be adopted by anyone willing to do the work and make the necessary changes in their own life. If you find yourself resenting the wealthy, it's time to examine why. The resentment might stem from a belief that wealth is unfair or that rich people are somehow bad or unworthy. This belief system only keeps you stuck in a cycle of negativity. Instead of seeing wealthy people as something to be resented, see them as living proof that financial success is possible. Resentment does not lead to wealth. It blocks your path to success. If you continue to view rich people through a lens of resentment or envy, you're unconsciously creating barriers for your own financial growth. The wealthy understand this concept. They surround themselves with others who have achieved success. They don't isolate themselves from successful people because of jealousy or fear of competition. Instead, they recognize the value of associating with people who can teach them, challenge them, and push them to grow. By doing so, they elevate their own thinking and expand their potential. This is not about networking for personal gain. It's about genuinely learning from others who have the knowledge and experience to help you reach your goals. This kind of association has a profound impact on your mindset. When you regularly engage with individuals who are focused on growth, wealth, and success, you're continually exposed to new ideas, perspectives, and opportunities. It's like being surrounded by a group of people who are all working toward the same goal. Their success inspires and motivates you to continue your journey. But if you're surrounded by people who think negatively about wealth, success, or money, you're more likely to adopt those same limiting beliefs. Wealth is not about competition or trying to beat others at their own game. It's about understanding that there is plenty of abundance to go around and that learning from others who have already achieved it is one of the fastest ways to progress. When you admire the rich rather than resenting them, you open yourself to new possibilities. This shift in perspective can lead to dramatic changes in how you think about money, success, and your own potential. To transform your mindset, start by identifying any feelings of resentment or jealousy you may have toward wealthy individuals. Acknowledge them, but then choose to let go of those feelings. Instead, begin to admire those who have achieved what you want to achieve. Look at their success as a sign that what they've done is possible for you too. Your success is not about fighting against others. It's about learning, growing, and adopting the right mindset. By changing your attitude toward wealth and success, you'll be more likely to attract the same into your own life. Start today by shifting your focus from resentment to admiration. Seek out successful individuals who inspire you and learn from them. This simple change in attitude can set you on the path to achieving the financial success you desire. Wealth file number 7. It focuses on the idea of associating with successful and positive people. In this lesson, it's explained that the people you spend your time with have a direct impact on your mindset and your wealth. Successful people understand the importance of surrounding themselves with others who are also focused on growth and achievement. When you choose to be around individuals who are motivated, optimistic, and forward-thinking, you naturally start to adopt these attitudes yourself. Imagine being around people who constantly talk about improving their businesses, their health, or their personal development. The energy they bring into your life is contagious. You begin to think bigger, act more boldly, and open up new opportunities for yourself. It becomes easier to push past your comfort zone when you're surrounded by individuals who have already done so. Successful people encourage each other, share ideas, and push one another to reach higher levels of achievement. They do not let each other settle for mediocrity. Instead, they challenge one another to aim for excellence. On the other hand, if you spend time with people who are negative, stuck in their ways, or constantly complaining about their circumstances, it can be extremely difficult to rise above the level of success they have. These people often hold limiting beliefs that can rub off on you. Their conversations tend to revolve around fears, failures, or reasons why things can't be done. If you find yourself in this kind of environment, it becomes easy to adopt their mindset and start thinking that success is not possible for you either. The result is that your own dreams may seem further out of reach, and your motivation to take action could diminish. What makes successful people different is their ability to see possibilities rather than problems. They understand that growth comes from finding solutions, embracing challenges, and being around others who inspire them to think and act at their highest level. They don't just accept their situation as it is. They create opportunities, build relationships, and continuously grow by learning from those who have succeeded before them. This is why it is so important to actively choose your circle of influence. The people around you are either lifting you up or holding you back. This lesson emphasizes that you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Think about the people you engage with regularly. Are they individuals who inspire you, push you to be better, and support your goals? Or are they people who drain your energy, hold on to old beliefs, and remain stuck in negative patterns? By changing your circle and surrounding yourself with people who have a growth mindset, you automatically begin to shift your own thinking. You start to see new opportunities, learn from others' experiences, and get motivated to take bold steps towards your own goals. The people you associate with shape your attitudes and actions. If you spend time with people who are wealthy, successful, and positive, their mindset will start to rub off on you. You'll begin to think like them, talk like them, and act like them. And before you know it, you'll start seeing opportunities you might have missed before. You will also adopt their habits, behaviors, and ways of thinking that lead to success. The more you immerse yourself in a successful environment, the more you open yourself up to the same level of success in your own life. The power of association is not just about what you can gain from others, but also about what you bring to the table. When you're in a group of like-minded individuals, you not only learn from them, but you also have the opportunity to contribute your own ideas and experiences. This creates a cycle of growth and support that benefits everyone in the group. By surrounding yourself with success-minded people, you start to take more responsibility for your own progress and adopt the same proactive attitude that will lead you to financial freedom. Building a network of successful people is one of the most powerful ways to change your mindset and accelerate your growth. It's a simple concept, but its impact is profound. So, take a moment to reflect on the people around you. Are they helping you reach your goals, or are they keeping you stuck? If the latter is true, it's time to consider expanding your circle and seeking out those who will challenge you to grow, think big, and push through obstacles. Your future success may very well depend on it. Wealth file number 8. Imagine you're at a party, and there's a group of people talking about their work. A woman stands out among them. She isn't shy or modest about what she does. Instead, she talks openly and proudly about her business, its success, and how she helps others. She doesn't downplay her achievements, and when someone asks about her services, she doesn't hesitate to say exactly what she offers and how much it costs. As the conversation goes on, you notice something interesting. Everyone around her is listening, impressed by her confidence. Now, picture another situation, a man at the same party who also runs a business, but this time he speaks in a hushed tone. He avoids eye contact when someone asks what he does, and when he does answer, he makes sure to downplay his success. He talks about how hard things have been, how tough the economy is, and how he just barely gets by. You can tell he's uncomfortable, almost embarrassed to share what he does. As the conversation ends, people seem less interested and move on to other topics. He doesn't seem proud of what he does, and neither does anyone else. Why does one person's approach bring admiration while the other brings indifference? The difference isn't in the work they do, but in how they present it. The first woman knows how to promote herself confidently. She understands the power of selling not just her product, but but also herself. She knows that to be successful, she must stand behind her value and not shrink away from the attention that might bring. The second man, on the other hand, hasn't yet realized that the way he presents himself can either attract or repel success. He feels uncomfortable promoting himself and his business, almost as though he's apologizing for his success. This difference in behavior is not a coincidence. The way we talk about our work, our skills, and our value can dramatically influence how others perceive us and how successful we become. Those who are successful don't just believe in their work. They believe in themselves. They know that to succeed, they must be able to sell not only their product or service, but also their value as a person and professional. And this starts with being comfortable with promotion, with saying, "This is what I do, and I'm good at it." In fact, the key to becoming successful is to become skilled at promoting yourself. It's not about bragging or being arrogant, but about understanding the value you bring and sharing that with others. Successful people know that when you don't promote yourself, others won't know what you have to offer. The world won't knock on your door unless you first open it with confidence. If you're constantly hiding your talents, others won't be able to recognize the opportunities you can provide. Learning to promote yourself involves changing the way you think about selling. For many, the idea of selling feels uncomfortable or even dishonest. But the truth is, selling is simply the act of communicating your value to others. It's not about tricking anyone or being pushy. It's about showing them what you have to offer and explaining why it can benefit them. The moment you understand this, you'll begin to see that promoting yourself isn't just necessary for success. It's essential. It's important to realize that the more confident you are in promoting yourself, the more others will believe in you. People are naturally drawn to those who have a strong sense of self-worth and who aren't afraid to show it. When you show up confidently, when you speak about your work with pride, others are more likely to listen and to trust that you can deliver. On the other hand, if you downplay your achievements or feel uncomfortable about selling, people won't take you seriously. They might even believe you don't truly believe in your own abilities. The lesson here is simple. If you want to be successful, you must become an expert at selling yourself. Start by believing in your own worth and being proud of what you do. Then, don't be afraid to share that with the world. Understand that selling isn't something to shy away from. It's a skill that can elevate your success. When you embrace the power of promotion and learn to confidently share your value, you'll find that doors begin to open and opportunities flow in. Wealth file number 9. Imagine you're walking down a quiet street, and you suddenly come across someone standing in front of a large, locked gate. The person looks frustrated and helpless, trying to figure out how to get past this obstacle. As you approach, you ask what the problem is. The person explains that the gate is locked, and they have no idea how to open it. But as you stand there together, you realize something important. While this person sees the gate as a huge problem, you see it as a challenge that can be solved. In that moment, you realize that there's more to this situation than just a locked gate. The gate represents an obstacle, and how each person reacts to it can make all the difference. What happens next is key to understanding how successful people deal with problems. Rather than becoming overwhelmed or defeated, the successful person quickly assesses the situation and starts searching for a solution. They know that challenges are a natural part of life. They know that obstacles are not permanent roadblocks. They're simply tests of persistence and creativity. The successful person does not let the gate define their future. Instead, they take charge, stay calm, and begin to think outside the box. They start to look for keys, tools, or methods to unlock the gate or find a way around it. Their focus shifts from the problem to the solution, and with this mindset, they eventually find a way through. Contrast this with how the other person reacts. Instead of seeking solutions, they focus all their energy on the problem. They repeatedly tell themselves how unfair it is to be stuck in front of a locked gate, and they quickly begin to feel defeated. The longer they dwell on the obstacle, the more convinced they become that it is impossible to overcome. They feel smaller and smaller in the face of the problem, and soon they're overwhelmed by frustration and self-doubt. This story teaches an important lesson. Successful people are able to rise above their challenges because they think differently. They're not defined by their problems. Instead, they view challenges as temporary and solvable. They understand that obstacles are a normal part of life and that they don't need to shrink or give up in the face of them. They don't let their problems control them. Instead, they take control of the situation and use their creativity, determination, and resourcefulness to find a way forward. Now, picture another scenario. You're in a room full of people, each one facing their own obstacles. Some are struggling with personal issues, while others are facing career challenges. But there's one person in the room who stands out. They don't seem bothered by the difficulties they face. They handle setbacks with a calm and collected attitude. They don't let their problems define them. Instead, they act as though every obstacle is just another step toward their goal. The person's response to problems is the key. While others might get bogged down by frustration, this individual remains focused on what can be done, not on what can't. They believe that problems are not meant to defeat them, but to challenge them to become better, smarter, and more capable. Their mindset is clear. No matter what happens, they will find a way through. And because of this mindset, they continue to succeed where others falter. It's this attitude that sets successful people apart. They act in spite of fear or uncertainty. They don't let the size of their problems intimidate them. Instead, they use every setback as an opportunity to learn, grow, and improve. They know that in the end, challenges are not what define them. It's their ability to face those challenges head-on and keep moving forward that makes them successful. So, the next time you come across an obstacle in your own life, remember this lesson. Don't let the problem make you feel smaller. Don't let it stop you. You have the ability to think beyond the obstacle, to find a solution, and to keep moving forward. Just like the person in the locked gate story, your success will be determined not by the challenges you face, but by how you respond to them. Stay focused on solutions, not problems, and your path to success will always be clear. Wealth file number 10. It centers around the idea of receiving. Many people, particularly those who struggle with money, have difficulty receiving in various forms, whether it's money, compliments, help, or support. They often feel guilty or unworthy of receiving, which creates an internal block to their financial success. The lesson here is that the ability to receive is as important as the ability to give. It is necessary to open yourself up to receiving abundance, whether it's in the form of money or anything else. If you cannot receive, you limit your capacity to grow your wealth. Think about how often you may reject help when it's offered. It might be someone offering to pay for your meal, or giving you a gift, or even offering advice. Many people, when they're offered something for free, hesitate, feeling uncomfortable about accepting it. They often think, I don't deserve this, or I don't want to owe anyone anything. But this kind of thinking limits their ability to receive, and as a result, they continue to struggle in their financial journey. When you're unable to receive, you prevent yourself from having opportunities that could lead to success. People who are open to receiving are willing to accept not only material things, but also guidance and support. This openness creates a flow of positive energy around them, allowing opportunities to come their way. You see, wealth is not just about giving. It's a balance of both giving and receiving. If you only give, you will eventually deplete yourself. But if you only receive, you will fail to create value for others. The first step to improving your ability to receive is recognizing that you are worthy of abundance. Many people struggle with this concept because of past programming, possibly from childhood, where they were taught that it's selfish to accept or expect too much. This programming creates a block in their subconscious, preventing them from truly allowing wealth into their lives. In order to break this pattern, you need to start by accepting the idea that you are worthy of good things. You deserve success, happiness, and financial freedom just as much as anyone else. It's not about being better than others. It's about embracing the fact that abundance is your birthright. Once you understand that you are worthy, it's important to start practicing the act of receiving. This can be as simple as accepting a compliment. When someone praises you, instead of brushing it off or downplaying your achievements, you accept it graciously. By doing this, you're opening up your energy to receiving more. When you reject compliments or praise, you're essentially telling the universe, I don't deserve this. But when you accept them, you're saying, I welcome this. I am open to more of this. The same principle applies to wealth. When you refuse to receive, whether it's money or opportunities, you're subconsciously signaling that you don't want it. Another aspect of receiving is learning to ask for what you want. Some people are reluctant to ask for help or make their needs known because they fear being a burden. But asking is a powerful way to invite abundance into your life. If you don't ask, the universe cannot give you what you need. It's like standing at a table full of food, but not reaching out to take a plate. The food is there, but you have to actively engage with it. Likewise, by making clear requests, whether it's asking for a raise or seeking guidance, you open the door to receiving what you want. One of the keys to being a successful receiver is understanding that receiving is not a one-time event. It's a continuous process. It's about being open to the flow of life, both the good and the challenges. Often, people focus only on what they lack, instead of seeing the abundance that is already present around them. By shifting your focus to what is already flowing into your life, you'll find that receiving becomes easier and more natural. When you acknowledge the positive aspects of your life, no matter how small, you begin to create more space for larger opportunities to enter. As you practice receiving, you'll notice that it doesn't just affect your financial life. It influences every part of your existence. When you open yourself to receiving, you attract more positive energy, more opportunities, and more wealth. Your relationships improve, your career grows, and you become more attuned to the opportunities that the world presents. The practice of receiving is essential to becoming wealthy, not just financially, but in all aspects of life. When you embrace this mindset, you align yourself with the natural flow of abundance. Wealth is not just something that happens to a select few. It's available to everyone, but it requires an open mind and heart. Learning to receive is one of the most important steps you can take on your journey to wealth and success. Wealth file number 11. Imagine a world where your income is no longer tied to the number of hours you work. Picture a life where you can earn money based on the value you provide, not just the time you trade. This shift in thinking is key to creating long-lasting wealth. The most successful people in the world don't just work for a paycheck. They create results that others are willing to pay for, regardless of how many hours they put in. Let's break this down further. When you're paid by the hour, your income is limited. You can only work so much, and there are only so many hours in a day. This creates a cap on how much money you can make. However, when you focus on getting paid for results, your income potential is unlimited. The focus shifts from how much time you spend working to how much value you are creating for others. Take, for example, an entrepreneur who starts a small business. Instead of charging by the hour for their services, they focus on creating a product or service that can be sold over and over again. This way, they earn money each time someone buys their product, without having to continue working each time. The more they create, the more they earn. The business is no longer dependent on a 9 to 5 schedule. It's now working for them, generating income even when they're not actively working. This is a fundamental shift that opens up new opportunities. You stop thinking of yourself as someone who simply performs tasks for pay, and start thinking like someone who provides value that people are willing to pay for. By focusing on outcomes, on results, you can tap into streams of income that don't require your constant attention or time. Now, this doesn't mean you stop working hard or stop putting in effort. It means you start to focus on the bigger picture, creating systems or offering solutions that others find valuable. The key is not just about working harder, but working smarter. When you shift from time-based pay to result-based pay, your earning potential grows exponentially. Imagine you're a consultant who is hired to solve a specific problem for a company. If you charge by the hour, the more time you spend, the more money you make. But if you shift your focus to results, you begin to ask yourself, what is the company's biggest problem? How can I solve it in the most efficient way possible? The quicker you solve the problem, the more valuable you become, because the company gets a huge benefit from the results you've created. The client doesn't care how many hours you spent. They care about the results. In this approach, it's not just about the amount of time you work. It's about what you achieve with that time. The rich understand that the focus should be on achieving valuable outcomes, not just counting the minutes spent on a task. The value is in the result, not in the effort. As you move forward with this mindset, you start to see opportunities everywhere. You can create a product, a service, or a solution that can generate income for you even when you're not actively working. This is how successful entrepreneurs build businesses that allow them to step away and still earn money. Whether it's an online course, a book, or a piece of software, they've created something that works for them around the clock. Their income becomes more passive, freeing up their time for other ventures or simply to enjoy life. This shift in thinking isn't about doing less work, but doing more meaningful work. It's about creating results that are so valuable to others that they're willing to pay for them, even if they don't directly tie to the hours you spend. This is what allows some people to make millions, while others, despite working long hours, struggle to get by. The focus on results rather than time makes all the difference. Once you embrace this, you'll find that opportunities open up for you. You'll start thinking about ways you can work smarter, not harder. You'll look for ways to deliver value to others that go beyond traditional work arrangements. It's no longer about trading your time for money. It's about creating value that pays you regardless of the clock. This is the way the wealthy think. They know that in order to truly thrive, they must move from being time-dependent to results-driven. This shift will free up your time and unlock unlimited earning potential. It will also enable you to live a life on your own terms, where you can enjoy the fruits of your labor without constantly being tied to the clock. Wealth file number 12. Many people tend to think in terms of either slash or believing they must choose between one thing or another. They might think they can either have a successful career or spend time with their family. They might believe they can either be rich or have a fulfilling personal life. This type of thinking limits possibilities and holds people back from achieving more in life. The reality is the most successful people think in terms of both. They understand that it's possible to have it all: success, wealth, happiness, and fulfillment. People who adopt the mindset of either slash or make choices that restrict their growth. They believe that achieving wealth means giving up on other important things. For example, someone might think they need to work extremely long hours to become rich, leaving little to no time for personal life. As a result, they sacrifice happiness or quality time with loved ones. On the other hand, people who think both understand that balance is key. They recognize that they can pursue their goals and still create space for things that matter outside of work. Successful individuals do not believe in the myth of sacrifice. They know that they can build their wealth while also enjoying their personal lives. These individuals often create systems in their businesses that allow them to work efficiently and get results without burning themselves out. They know that wealth is not just about hard work and long hours. It's also about being smart, leveraging time, and finding ways to grow without compromising other areas of life. They're the ones who work hard, but they also know how to make time for their family, health, and passions. People who think both are able to enjoy financial success without feeling trapped by it. They avoid the misconception that being wealthy means endless sacrifices and no time for anything else. Instead, they believe that it's possible to be wealthy and also have a fulfilling life outside of work. In their eyes, it's not about choosing between career and personal happiness. It's about having both, finding ways to make them work together. They embrace the idea that you can have the life you desire and the financial success you seek without needing to choose one over the other. For example, a successful business person might delegate tasks, automate processes, and set clear boundaries to ensure that their work does not consume every moment of their life. They structure their days to allow time for family, personal growth, and relaxation. By doing so, they stay energized and focused on their goals without sacrificing their personal life. They understand that taking care of themselves and nurturing relationships is just as important as achieving their financial goals. Similarly, people who think both in their personal lives are able to have fulfilling relationships while also maintaining their financial success. They don't let their work take over their life, and they don't ignore their health or personal development in the process. They understand that true wealth includes emotional, physical, and mental well-being, not just financial abundance. By finding this balance, they create a rich life in all areas: wealth, happiness, health, and relationships. The both mindset also allows people to think creatively. They look for ways to combine their interests and passions with their career or business. Instead of seeing their work as something separate from their personal desires, they find ways to merge the two. This approach leads to greater satisfaction, as they are doing what they love while also building their wealth. As you begin to adopt this both mindset, you'll find that your opportunities expand. You'll stop seeing obstacles or limitations that prevent you from achieving everything you want. Instead of feeling like you have to choose between your goals, you'll realize that it's possible to pursue all of them. You'll approach life with an attitude of abundance, knowing that there's enough time, energy, and resources for everything that is important to you. By thinking both, you start to shift away from limiting beliefs and step into a world of unlimited potential. You stop seeing wealth as something that requires sacrifice, and instead, you begin to see it as a tool that helps you live a fuller, richer life in every way. This shift in thinking opens the door to a more balanced, fulfilling, and successful life. You can have it all: wealth, health, happiness, and more, because you believe that all of it is possible, and you're willing to take the steps to make it happen. Wealth file number 13. It is about how rich people and poor people think differently when it comes to their income and wealth. The key lesson is simple yet powerful. Rich people focus on their net worth, while poor people focus on their working income. This difference in mindset is one of the most crucial factors in building lasting wealth. Let's break it down. Imagine you are working hard, earning a steady paycheck each month. Most people see their salary or hourly wages as the most important thing. They think that their income, how much they earn from their job, is the defining factor of their financial health. They save a little, spend a lot, and wait for the next paycheck to arrive. But this way of thinking limits their potential. Working income is only one piece of the puzzle. It's necessary, but it's not enough on its own. Now, picture someone who focuses on building their net worth. Instead of thinking only about how much they earn from their job, they think about their assets, property, investments, businesses, and anything else that generates income. They understand that to build wealth, they need to focus on accumulating assets that will continue to grow over time. They make money work for them, rather than simply trading time for money. Let's take an example to see this principle in action. Meet Sarah and John. Sarah works as a teacher. Every month, she receives her paycheck, pays her bills, and saves a little bit. She's doing everything right by most standards, but her financial growth is slow. She's focused on her salary, which is fixed. Sarah's thinking is about earning a specific amount and living within her means. She does save, but the amount is limited because she's relying only on her income. On the other hand, John works as an engineer. He also receives a paycheck, but he has a different approach. He uses a portion of his salary to build his wealth. Every month, John invests in stocks, real estate, and a small business. Instead of spending everything he earns, he makes sure to put money into assets that will grow in value. Over time, his investments appreciate and his net worth increases. The difference between Sarah and John is clear. Sarah's focus is on her working income, while John's focus is on building his net worth. John is not just earning money. He's creating wealth that will continue to grow even when he's not actively working. His investments generate passive income, which means his money is working for him. He can enjoy the benefits of his hard work without being tied to a paycheck. This mindset shift is one of the most important steps toward financial freedom. By focusing on building your net worth, you take control of your financial future. Instead of living paycheck to paycheck, you create a system where your money grows and works for you. You can make money from things like investments, rental properties, businesses, and other assets, all of which continue to provide value without you having to put in constant effort. The key here is not to get stuck in the cycle of focusing solely on your salary. Of course, you need income to live and pay your bills, but you should also be thinking about how to build wealth beyond that. The rich focus on how to grow their assets and increase their net worth. They understand that their salary is just one tool in a larger strategy to create financial freedom. To make this shift, start by looking at what you own and what you owe. Your assets, such as real estate, stocks, and savings, are part of your net worth. Your liabilities, such as debt and mortgages, subtract from it. The goal is to increase your assets and reduce your liabilities over time. Think of ways you can invest in things that will appreciate in value, generate income, and contribute to your overall financial picture. As you start to focus on building your net worth, you'll notice a change in your mindset. You'll stop seeing your job as the only way to create wealth and start looking for opportunities to make your money work for you. The more you invest in assets, the greater your net worth becomes, and the less you rely on your paycheck. Eventually, your money will grow in ways you never imagined, giving you the freedom to live life on your own terms. In conclusion, the lesson here is clear. To create lasting wealth, focus on building your net worth, not just your working income. While earning a salary is important, it's the growth of your assets that will truly determine your financial future. Start investing today and shift your focus from just working for money to making your money work for you. This is the path to financial freedom and the key to achieving long-term wealth. Wealth file number 14. When it comes to managing money, the way you treat it can make all the difference. The idea is simple. How you handle your money today determines the opportunities you'll have tomorrow. Many people tend to see money as something to spend as soon as they earn it. They focus on how much they can spend rather than how much they can save and invest. This is a mindset that limits their financial growth. But there's another way to approach money, a way that leads to wealth. This approach begins with being smart about how you manage the money you have. It's not about spending everything as soon as you get it. It's about being wise with your finances, knowing where it's going, and planning for the future. The goal is to have money work for you, not the other way around. And to do that, you need a system that helps you keep track of your earnings and guide you toward long-term financial security. The first step in this system is recognizing that money must be managed. Many people believe that if they have a lot of money, everything will fall into place. They assume that once they get enough, they will have the freedom to do what they want without worrying. But that's not how wealth is built. It's not about having a huge amount of money today. It's about managing what you have, no matter how much or how little it may be. Even the wealthiest people know that money doesn't just take care of itself. It requires management, and that management needs to be consistent and thoughtful. A key part of this management is understanding the importance of saving and budgeting. When money comes in, it should be allocated in specific ways. Instead of spending all of it on living expenses or luxuries, you divide it up into categories. Part of it goes into savings, part into investments, and part should be used for daily needs. This practice ensures that you are not just living paycheck to paycheck. It builds a foundation where you are preparing for the future and also setting aside funds to grow wealth. The concept of saving first is crucial. When you receive any income, before you pay bills or buy anything, you should immediately save a portion. This act of saving first establishes a habit that reinforces the idea that money is meant to work for you, not just be used up. It's about making sure that money is set aside for your future before anything else. This habit ensures you always have money growing in the background, even if you aren't actively working on it. Another important part of managing money is knowing exactly where it is going. Most people have no idea where their money is spent. They know their bills and their rent, but often forget about small, everyday expenses. The key to true financial control is keeping track of every cent. This isn't about being obsessive or miserly. It's about being aware of where your money goes so that you can make informed decisions. If you're spending money on things that don't align with your financial goals, you can make changes. The next lesson focuses on the importance of having a financial plan. A financial plan is not just a wish list. It's a roadmap to help you reach your goals. Your plan should include a budget, a savings goal, and a strategy for how you will make your money work for you. This plan serves as your guide, helping you stay on track and make adjustments when necessary. Without a clear plan, it's easy to get distracted or make decisions that don't align with your long-term goals. Finally, it's important to remember that managing money isn't just about cutting back on spending or saving as much as you can. It's also about growing your wealth through smart investments. Investing allows your money to earn more money. It's not just about what you save, it's about what you do with what you save. Money sitting in a savings account is not doing much for you. But money invested wisely can grow and compound, helping you achieve your financial goals faster. The key here is to learn about the different ways you can invest and then make decisions based on your goals, your risk tolerance, and your financial situation. In short, wealth is not just about having more money. It's about how you manage it. If you're always focused on how much you can spend, you miss the opportunity to build and grow your wealth. The wealthy know that the key to financial freedom is managing money in a smart, systematic way. By saving first, being aware of where your money goes, keeping track of your expenses, and investing wisely, you can begin to create a solid foundation for financial success. Wealth isn't just about earning more. It's about knowing how to manage what you have so that it continues to grow. Wealth file number 15. Rich people have a habit that sets them apart. They make their money work hard for them. They understand that earning through their job is just one part of the journey. The bigger goal is to build a system where their money earns even when they're not working. Poor and middle-class people, on the other hand, often work hard for every dollar they get. They trade time for money and focus only on their job or business. If they stop working, the money stops coming. But the wealthy think differently. They know that relying only on earned income is risky. So they look for ways to make their money grow without needing constant effort. The main idea is simple. You must learn how to shift from being only a worker to being an investor. When you earn money, don't just spend it all. Save some of it, and then invest that saved money wisely so it starts bringing in more money. This is what's called passive income, money that comes to you regularly with little or no ongoing work. This includes income from investments, real estate, stocks, mutual funds, and businesses that can run without your daily involvement. The difference in thinking is huge. A poor person might say, "I can't invest because I don't have enough money." But a rich-minded person asks, "How can I invest with what I have?" It's not about waiting until you're rich to start investing. It's about starting to invest now, even in small amounts. Over time, the money grows. With compound interest and smart decisions, the money begins to make more money. And slowly, That passive income can cover your expenses and even build wealth. There's a common belief that investing is risky. But in truth, not investing is even riskier. If you depend only on your job and something happens, you lose the job, the business slows down, or your health fails, you're left with no income. But if you've built a second stream of income, like investments, then you have a safety net. That's why wealthy people make it a priority to build assets that give them income. One of the best types of passive income is income from real estate. When someone owns a rental property, tenants pay rent every month. That money becomes passive income. Yes, there may be some work in managing the property, but the money keeps coming whether the owner is actively working or not. Another common form is investing in stocks or mutual funds. Over time, these grow and give back money through dividends or appreciation. People often think they need to become experts to invest, but that's not true. The key is to start learning a little at a time and to start small. If you wait to be perfect, you may never begin. Rich people don't wait. They learn, ask questions, and take action. They know they might make mistakes, but that's part of learning. They don't let fear stop them. And as they learn more, they get better at investing. Another habit of rich people is setting aside a specific portion of their income just for investing. They treat it like a bill they must pay every month. They don't wait to see what's left over. Instead, they make investing a priority. This is why they keep getting richer over time. Their assets grow, and their passive income increases. Eventually, they have more freedom, more choices, and less stress about money. Also, wealthy people think long-term. They don't look for quick returns or gamble their money. They understand that growing wealth is a process. They are patient, and they stick with their investments. They don't panic with market changes. They stay calm and make decisions based on knowledge, not emotions. That's how their money continues to grow even when the economy goes up and down. In contrast, many people never reach financial freedom because they only focus on earning and spending. They never make the switch to investing. They believe working harder will make them rich, but they stay stuck in a cycle. The truth is, even if you earn a lot, if you don't invest, you'll always be working for money. But if you invest, even a little, your money starts working for you. The lesson is clear. If you want to be truly rich, don't just work for money. Make your money work for you. Start small, be consistent, and build assets that create passive income. Over time, those investments will grow, and one day, your passive income may become enough to live on. That's when you achieve real financial freedom. And it all starts with the decision to stop only earning and start investing. Wealth file number 16. Rich people act in spite of fear. Poor people let fear stop them. This is one of the most important differences in how people think about success and money. Everyone feels fear. Fear is normal. But the truth is, the way people deal with fear is not the same. Rich people feel the fear, but they don't let it stop them. They go ahead and take action anyway. Poor people, on the other hand, let fear control them. They wait until the fear goes away before they try something big. But fear never really disappears. That's the mistake most people make. They wait and wait, thinking the perfect moment will come when there's no fear, no doubt, and everything feels safe. But that moment never comes. The secret is learning to act, not when fear is gone, but while fear is still there. Rich people train themselves to act, even if they're scared. They've made it a habit. They know that being comfortable is not the goal. Growth only happens when you step outside your comfort zone. That's why they keep moving forward. Every time they act in spite of fear, they get stronger. Their confidence grows. They prove to themselves that they can handle it, whatever happens. Poor people do the opposite. They feel afraid and stop. They listen to the voice in their head that says, "What if it doesn't work?" Or "What if I fail?" They believe that voice and choose to stay safe. But staying safe keeps them stuck. The rich have learned that fear is not a stop sign. It's more like a signal. It means something big is about to happen. It means you're growing. Fear shows up when you're about to do something different or take a step toward your goals. That's actually a good sign. It means you're moving forward. Successful people know this. They don't wait for fear to go away. They don't argue with it. They just notice it, then act anyway. Even if their hands are shaking, even if their heart is pounding, they still do it. Here's the truth that many people don't want to hear. If you want to be rich and successful, you have to do what it takes. And what it takes is stepping into discomfort. It means taking risks. It means trying new things. It means putting yourself out there. And yes, it often means doing things that scare you. But every time you do it, fear loses some of its power. You become stronger, braver, and more confident. Rich people don't let fear run their lives. They're not controlled by their thoughts or emotions. They're in charge. They've made a habit of taking action quickly. They don't wait. They know that waiting gives fear more time to grow. So they move fast. They make decisions and act. If it doesn't work, they adjust. They learn. But they keep going. Poor people let their mind talk them out of everything. They say things like, I'm not ready. What if I look stupid? Or, I'll do it later. But later usually turns into never. Fear wins, and nothing changes. That's why the lesson is clear. If you want to win in life and money, you must act in spite of fear. You must build the muscle of courage. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. There's a simple way to practice this every day. Whenever you feel afraid, ask yourself, what action would I take if I weren't afraid? Then do that. That's how you grow. That's how you win. You can train yourself to respond to fear with action, not by fighting fear, but by acting in spite of it. Fear might always be there, but it doesn't have to stop you. The people who get rich and stay rich are the ones who face fear and act anyway. They don't wait until they feel brave. They act, and courage follows. That's how they win. That's how they succeed. And that's how you can too. The final wealth file, number 17. Rich people are always learning and growing. Poor people think they already know everything. That's the difference in mindset that separates those who succeed from those who stay stuck. The idea is simple. When a person believes they already know something, their mind is closed. Nothing new can enter. On the other hand, when someone believes there's always more to learn, their mind stays open and they are ready to grow. The story begins with a reminder that learning never stops. Successful people know this. They make a habit of learning new skills, reading books, attending courses, and spending time with people who know more than them. They listen carefully and ask questions. They don't pretend to know everything. They understand that the more they learn, the more they realize how much they don't know. There's a clear example to show this thinking. Imagine two people at a seminar. One takes notes, listens closely, and plans how to use the information in their life. The other folds their arms and says, I've heard this before. One is growing. The other is stuck. The second person might have heard the ideas before, but the question is, are they living those ideas? Have they mastered them? Hearing something and doing it are two different things. Learning means being humble. It means accepting that you don't have all the answers, and it's okay to ask for help or seek out better ways. Wealthy people often read, not just for fun, but to gain knowledge and improve their thinking. They also pay for learning. They invest in books, workshops, coaches, and programs. They don't say, it's too expensive. Instead, they ask, what will this cost me if I don't learn it? One lesson teaches that money and success are tied to your ability to grow. If you want to have more, you must become more. The idea is that your income will rarely grow beyond your own development. So, to grow your wealth, you must grow yourself. That might mean learning how to manage money, how to speak with confidence, how to lead others, or how to sell your ideas. All these skills can be learned, but you must be willing. Sometimes, people who don't have much success in life are the ones who resist learning the most. They defend their current beliefs. They say things like, I already know this, or that won't work for me, or I've tried that before. But those are not real reasons. They are excuses that protect the ego. They keep people from facing the truth. That change is possible, but only if you are open to it. There's also a warning about something called ego inflation. This is when someone becomes too proud to learn. They believe they are smarter than others, even when they're not getting results. That attitude pushes away growth. It closes doors to new ideas. Rich people, even when they are very successful, continue to seek advice and learn from others. They understand that staying humble is key to growing even more. A powerful lesson is this. Every master was once a disaster. No one starts out knowing everything. People who are experts today once struggled too. They became great by staying curious, by asking for help, and by always learning. So, if you want to be rich, follow that same path. Start where you are and never stop growing. You're always either learning or losing. There's no standing still. The world keeps changing. New tools, new trends, new opportunities. If you stop learning, you fall behind. But if you keep learning, you stay ahead. In the end, the choice is yours. Will you keep your mind open? Will you choose to keep growing? Will you become the kind of person who learns from every situation and keeps improving? If so, wealth will follow. Because success is not something you chase. It's something you attract by becoming the kind of person who deserves it. And that starts with a student mindset, a mind that is always ready to learn.